Hey there, folks. Kyle Travis here. Welcome back to the channel. And we are back with a 1968 John Deere. So we'll start on what we're doing with it, and I'll start on with a little history on it, really, and just a little bit about it. So originally, I got this lawnmower off of my uncle, and he had it at his place for probably 3 to 4 years, maybe 5. Um, but originally who owned it was a guy named Ken. He was an old guy. He did tractor pulls, and he had it, and he pulled against my grandpa, which his name was Henry Vandermeulen. He pulled a lot in Binbrook, Smithville, just around the fairs. And, well, that's one of the hooks for pulling. And, yeah, so that's where he pulled. He pulled, around there. Ken, but the thing is, my grandpa was he did pulling, but he got, a lot of times he did stock pulling, and he did the best in the stock pulling out of all of the other lawnmowers. Like, he has trophies, he has videos and stuff of him doing it, and it's amazing. Like, he knew the amount of tire pressure that needs to be in the front tires, in the back tires. He knew that he needed to put weights on the front or the back. It was just amazing. Like, just amazing how good he was. He had 10, 20 fucking trophies. Like, the guy was just amazing. And I never got to see him much, but lately he passed away. This was one of his lawnmowers, because a guy named Ken, actually, I think he passed away and gave it to my grandpa. They were good friends. And this was a lawnmower that my grandpa got. It was an 8-horse engine, but now it's an 11-horse Briggs & Stratton engine. As you can see, the 8-horse, I think, would have looped down here, but now the 11-horse is up here now. So that's why I put 11 on there. And the other side, I can't remember if I did that. No, I didn't. But if you look closely on the sticker, it says 8. See that? It says 8, kind of. And when my grandpa had it, I don't know what the hell happened to the pipe, but when my grandpa had it, he had a pipe, not like this. This one's smaller, but he had a pipe like that big and this tall as this pipe. And when it ran, it was like a woo 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 kind of thing. It was like that. Well, I can't really do it, but you know what I mean. So yeah, my uncle had carburetor problems with this. And I guess it was leaking out somewhere. And he took the carburetor off, went to go buy a rebuild kit. And either he scrapped it, or my step papa, whatever the heck you want to call him, apparently scrapped the carburetor. So when I got it, there was no carburetor. The engine was almost seized, actually. Tons of mouse and stuff. Like, it just sat outside for years. Basically what I did was I tried to clean up the outside. I tried to clean up the inside of the engine. Let's show you the engine here. This is a fiberglass hood, which is worth a lot of money. So I'm scared every time when I take it off. And every time when you take it off, the damn thing just falls off like that. So basically, what I did was, before I did anything with this motor, I immediately took the plug off, took the spark plug out, threw some oil down in the cylinders. Waited about half an hour or, a couple hours. I didn't have this gas tank in here. So what I did was I just added this new gas tank. The old one was a steel one. And what happened was inside the tank was rust. And it was one of those old tanks where they had a steel thing inside here that a bar would go across, and a bar would go across here, so that the gas wouldn't splash around a lot. So my idea was to take marbles and gasoline and just shake it to get the rust out and then dump it. I couldn't do that. Okay, so we got this new plastic tank in, and my dad and I had to rig it up, so we got some a little spacer here, so it fits in perfect. The hood goes on without any trouble. Another thing is that when I had this lawnmower, again, not my uncle's fault, because my uncle went up to the States. He got stuck up there because of COVID and all this other crap. The pipe was left up like this, okay, and he used to put plastic bottles on top. Well, essentially over the years it blew off, and it started raining and raining and raining, and it blew water into the pipe down in here. Now, if you take this pipe off, there was rust inside, but my papa, which is not really my papa, but anyway, he had the pipe after, after 2 years, he realized, let's just put the pipe down. So he put it down, like he just tilted it down like that, so the water wouldn't get in. Tilt it back up here, and it preserved the engine, but still, I wish he would have done it sooner. That was a big job. I had to clean all that rust out. Not a big deal though. And this thing sat outside, well, ever since my uncle had it, it sat outside. What else? So I let that oil sit into the cylinder here for a couple hours, and I had to get it cranking, and I'm like, what the hell? Why won't this thing crank? I thought, damn, I hope I don't have to buy a new starter, because it's a 1968 starter, super hard to find. For me, it was where I live in Canada. It was really hard to find in Canada for some reason, and they're very expensive. They wanted $123 something for it, and I'm like, I can't justify paying $123 for a lawnmower starter. If worst comes to worst, I could always take this cover off, put a rope around it, and yank it over. My old Sears could do that if the starter ever goes, but if the starter's cheaper than under $123, then yeah, I would justify paying for that. But if not, So anyway, I look in here, and I had, see, my ignition is right down here, right? So if you look down in here, right here, right, this guy here with the big black plug and stuff, so that's the ignition, right? So one of the wires, see that white wire? There's two white wires that are crossed. See if I can zoom in here. See those two wires there? They're crossed over. So the mice basically chewed those two wires, which I think are the essential starter wire there. So I had to cross those back over because they got chewed by mice. There's a huge rat nest right in the battery box, which I had to clean out. I had to hook up one of these wires. I think that's for the ampers, which I thought, what the hell is that for? And it's for the ampers, which essentially don't work. And another thing was this. My uncle painted this lawnmower, but he had the negative cable off. So essentially, when you would go to hook up the negative cable on thick paint, it does not get a connection. It was not grounded properly. So I had to take the ground, because he painted it, put the ground wire back on, so I had to take the ground wire off, grind off some of this paint, and it spins over beautifully. It was a little crunchy at first, but after I put oil in it, turned it over a few times. It works great now. So that starter does work. My dad and we put on some new fuel line here, and we put on a new fuel filter. I ordered a carburetor for, I think, $60, $60. It's a little 1-barrel. And, my dad's picking up some extra fuel line today, so we'll connect some more fuel line up to, right about up to here. This is where the carburetor would have went. And, originally, I think, the fuel line came out of here. And, what the hell was in there, actually? Okay, it's just a sponge or something. Originally the, fuel would come out of there, I'm pretty sure, actually. For some reason, I'm not sure what that hose is for, but got that on. So, fuel line will come out here, go up into, the carburetor here once we get it. So this is the, breather here. It would, filter, I guess, air filter you would call it. The carburetor where the barrel would sit is right here. My hand is. Good thing my uncle left the screws in there for the carburetor, because I don't know if those come with the tractor or not, or the carburetor, I mean. My hands smell like dirty old gas. Hasn't ran in a while, so it's dirty gas. Oh, another thing was I was gonna check for spark, and I'm like, does this thing have spark? Because the spark plug had a lot of carbon on it. So what I did was I took the spark plug off. I took the spark plug out, or spark plug wire out, and then I took the spark plug out. I dumped some gas down the cylinder here and put a little on the spark plug. Turned it over. It fired up and smoked. So it did cheat to life, which means run. The only problem was my dad was like looking at the gear shifter here. He never seen it where neutral was in the middle, and this is how you shifted it. That's neutral. So my dad put it in, he went all the way back into first gear like that and left it in there. So when I went to go turn it over, the tractor rolled ahead like that. Well, it's in gear, right? So it rolled ahead like that. And I was like, what the hell? Why would you leave that in gear, right? I actually almost wrecked, and the reason why I got mad at my dad was it almost wrecked my hood, because I had my hood laying against the front end like that. And this is fiberglass. Like, these are worth so much money. It's not funny. They're so hard to get, because people like me have them, right? And then they get broke. So they're hard to get, really. It's fiberglass. They're easy to break, too, so I'm trying to be careful. But this tank I got for free. Like, pretty well everything on this garden tractor that we put on it is free. Like, except for this battery. But we've had it for a while, so it's all good. This fuel line, I think my dad got for free at, I don't know, he got a whole spiel of it. This fuel filter we had to pay for, but they're just cheapy fuel filters, which hopefully should work for this lawnmower. I don't know. But, so that's good. What else? What else? These lights are add-ons. My uncle put them on, and, they do work, but what I noticed is that when I had them hooked up, they heated up, and you see that weird blue kind of tinge to them? They're not supposed to have that, and this one got really bad. I even shut them off because I could feel, like, when they're on, I could feel heat. They're like almost like heat lights. It like almost melted the plastic, really. These are, I don't know what they are, but they're pretty cool. Let's check the thing here. So, it's pretty clean in here. I was afraid that a mouse was gonna get in there because mice like to build nests in these, and surprisingly, they didn't. They decided to build a nest in the, up in the battery box, which was, they do that too. I hate mice, and they chewed shit, so yeah. Uh, there's some rust in there. It would definitely need another one of these. I would like to get one, but, money's tight right now. I don't have a lot of money. And I've been focusing on this 80 Ford and been putting my other projects aside. Like this, I've had this already for 2-3 years now, and I haven't done anything with it. The only thing I've ever done with it was I painted the seat yellow. And I painted the back rims, front rims yellow again. The whole tractor needs to be repainted. Green, John Deere green again, really. I cleaned it up a bit. But like I said, I haven't done anything with it.